Hello and welcome to TA for Traders. It's Tuesday the 12th of July. In this video we'll be looking at 2 UK stocks and 2 US stocks. We'll start in the UK looking at HSBC, which on TradingView has the code HSBA. They've just been released from their money laundering allegations in the States, and that's helped the share price. Technically they look good. We'll also look at Bellway in the UK, BWY on the code. Last week Berkeley came out with good figures in the property sector, and Bellway looks like it's going to benefit from the overall run on the sector. And in the States we'll start with Oasis Petroleum, OAS. They had a secondary which was 306 million in total, priced at 9.55, which was just a 5% discount. Technically they're in a flag. Let's see if that can be broken now they've raised this extra money. And then we'll finish in the States with Macy's, which is the code, Cases, not Macy's, Cases Retail, which is the code CASY. They've got figures coming out this evening. There was an engulfing bearish candle on last night's trade. Further downside should be expected. Let's look at those charts. So starting with HSBC, and you can see that the move that we've had yesterday's broken the flag that was being formed. Very good that we've gone back above this 20-week moving average, and you can see that momentum has ticked up as well, with the RSI moving back up to 58.69. Really, one would expect after a gap like that for further upside pressure. Looking at the daily, and you can see that we're going to get the 20 moving up to the 50 over the next few days. Even if we get a consolidation at this 750 level, they will create a golden cross, and that could then give a push up that's needed to break this resistance. We are in a flag. We have still got this pattern of lower highs, so we need to break that. That would take a move up this high above the high of 10th of October, which is approximately at about 769.4. Momentum again has picked up with the move upwards. The RSI is now 60.69, and you can see that the MACD, the short term, has just crossed the long term and has moved back above zero, and many technical analysts would be looking at that as a buy signal as well. So overall still positive on HSBC. And the 4-hour chart, that just confirms what's been said before. You can see that all the moving averages are moving together. We're going to get multiple golden crosses being created as these moving averages move up and cross. We're going to get the 20 crossing the 50, if not later this afternoon, then tomorrow morning, and the 50 is going to cross the 200 as well, perhaps in a couple of days time. Momentum strong, RSI up at 68.89, MACD indicative of that positive momentum. Moving on to Bellway. This is also in a flag towards the upper boundary of that trading range. It was positive that we got a bounce from the 20-day moving average in September. That's very supportive. You can see that on the flag the momentum has slightly been lost. However, it's still above 50, so is still positive. MACD just showing that just slight loss of upside momentum as the short term moves below the longer term, but they're just flatlining and they are still well above zero. On the daily, the move on Friday was positive, took the Bellway back above its 50-day moving average. We've come back down to that today. Hopefully that will find support. You can see that the 20's now turned back up. Obviously the 20 will move up to that 50-day as if the Bellway price can hold above it, which I'm hopeful of. not quite got as much solid upside momentum as we'd like. The RSI is only at 51.74, so that needs to spike. Likewise, volume needs to pick up, although it was good, or it is good, that today's volume is very low on this sell-off that we're seeing today. Be aware that if we close down here, we have got a bearish engulfing picture on the candle, so there might be some follow-through buying, but I would hope that the 20-day, which is at 35.14.45, would hold. To the downside, if we were to fall below the 20-day, the next key support is at 34.61.8. That's the low of 7th of December. Then we'll be looking at 34.32.6, the low of 30th of November. If that doesn't hold, then unfortunately I think we are going to fall back down towards supports in the 33.32 level. But as I said, I'm hopeful that now we've broken this flag to the upside, we will hold above and then move further forward. On the 4-hour, we're pulling back to the moving averages. The 20 did create a golden cross on the 50 yesterday, so that's positive and would hopefully hold the Bellway price as it drifts down. Again, momentum has shifted back down. It's neutral, 51.51, and likewise the MACD are rolling and a level short-term, long-term, but it is above zero still, but just keep your eye on that. Again, I'm just hoping that these moving averages do hold. Right, moving over to the States, starting with Casey's General Stores, CASY. They have got figures coming out tonight. You can see that the last 10 weeks has been very positive. We've got an engulfing picture on this week's trade. That's from yesterday's trade, which we'll see on the daily. So what further downside should be expected. However, on this weekly, it's positive that the 20 has just crossed the 50 in a golden cross formation. And we have got positive momentum with the RSI 63.24 and those MACDs moving above zero and the short term tracking above the longer term. On the daily, you can see that engulfing candle that we had yesterday not only engulfed the previous day, which would have been bad enough, but we engulfed the previous 5 days trading. So it would be a minor miracle if we don't get any follow through selling coming through. First support is seen at the 20-day. That's at 119.89, with support below there at the 118 level. And then below there we're looking at the 50-day, which is at 115.71. But initially I would expect the 20-day to hold. Obviously, given yesterday's move, that's knocked the stuffing out of the momentum. RSI's tracked back down. That's at 56.27, and the MACD, the short term, is already down at the longer term, and they will cross over. And the 4-hour picture, again, there was an engulfing candle. That's now been followed by a further downside candle, taking us below the 20 average. The next support is seen at the low that we saw on the 1st of December, 118.8, with the 50 average at that level. Still in an uptrend channel towards the lower boundary, be aware of that. So we could get a short-term bounce, but it does need to get above that 20 if it's to continue to the upside, because that will roll down very quickly. Momentum is now indicated to be negative, RSI 48.1, and the MACD short term just tracked below long term, which is taken as a sell signal by many technical analysts. Moving on to the final share that we're looking at today, that's Oasis Petroleum, OAS. Looking at the weekly, you can see that we're having trouble with the 50-week moving average. That's creating a barrier, presently at 10.62. Momentum is being depleted as we're hitting at that barrier. It's now drifted to 54.44. Likewise, the MACD just tracking sideways at the 0 level. On the daily chart, you can see that it looks like we're in a flag. The moving averages are starting to turn down. The 200 is seen as a significant factor as it tracks down, and it does look like the 20 is going to cross it in a bearish fashion if we don't really pick up today with this sell-off. The price of the secondary was 9.55, so still above the 50-day, which is good. But for any upside to break this flag would need a break really up to the 10.6 really, and then above the previous high, which was on 10.84 on the 1st of December. To the downside, if we don't hold the 50-day, expect to move back to support at about 8.3. Momentum is neutral. We're going sideways on the RSI, 53.5. Likewise, the MACD are neutral, marginally above 0. And finally, looking at the 4-hour, you can see that we're finding support from the 20 average. The 50 still moving up. If we can move back above there, move up towards the 10.5, that would be positive, in that then the 20 would cross the 50 in a bullish golden cross formation, and that could give the momentum to push up towards the 11 level. Momentum again neutral, 52.62, and the MACD flatlining at 0. So that's been TA for traders. We've looked at HSBC and Bellway in the UK, and then we looked at Cases and Oasis Petroleum in the States. I know I do go through these stocks very quickly and perhaps speak a bit too quickly for some of my viewers on YouTube. You can always rewind the video and get to the stock that you're interested in. Thanks for watching. If you're not a subscriber to my YouTube channel, please do subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. You then get email updates when I come out with further videos. I look at the FX, the commodity, equity indices, as well as looking at these single stock charts. The videos I do are for information only and for education purposes, and they're not an investment recommendation. Please do read the disclaimer.